Okay guys, welcome to equations with grouping. Now, equations with grouping or grouped number sentences are pretty straightforward. They're not all that hard. People just get freaked out with them because they see brackets in the middle of the equation and they don't know where to start first. But it's simply a matter of expanding the grouping symbols. That's all we have to do. And we expand these grouping symbols by executing the operations involving brackets first. Now you're probably sitting there going, oh, what's grouping, what's a grouped equation, what is this brackets Mrs. talking about? We're going to go ahead and write a few examples. So you will need to write this statement we have here on the first slide, but underneath that you will be needing to write the examples that we're going to go through now. So if we look here at our first example, we have 3 brackets 2x plus 1 equals 9. Okay, so the first thing you guys can see is this equation here involves brackets. This is pretty straightforward, this is a pretty simple one, but the first thing we need to do in order to be able to then execute this equation is first work out the brackets. So we first have to perform the brackets, the bracket operations, or the operation involving brackets. So when we work with brackets, the first thing we do is the first number statement. So we go 3 multiplied by 2x, which is 6x. Actually, I might not put equals there. We'll go 6x. Then the next thing we have to do is 3 multiplied by positive 1. So 3 multiplied by 1 is 3, equals 9. So what we've done there is we've said 3 multiplied by 2x, and then 3 multiplied by 1. So it's a positive 1. So 6x plus 3 equals 9. And guys, now it's just simply a matter of executing the equation as we would. So we balance the equation as we've been learning. So we do the inverse of positive 3. So we subtract 3 to get 3 on this side, and we subtract 3 from 9. So it's 6x equals 6. Because 9 minus 3 is 6. So therefore, if 6x equals 6, x equals 6 on 6, 1, x, therefore x equals 1. Really straightforward, guys. Really quite a simple equation. All we have to remember to do is to execute the operations in brackets first. Now, what I'm going to be getting you guys to do today is then to confirm if we know if we've got the right answer through substitution. So, we substitute our answer x or 1 into the equation. So it becomes 3 brackets, bracket again, because we've got a multiplier, 2 times 1, brackets again, plus 1 brackets equals 9. So the first thing we have to do is we have to do the operations within the closest brackets. So we look at this one, which is 2 times 1 is 2. So we then perform our operations involving brackets. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Then we have a look, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 equals 9, the equation balances, therefore we have the right answer. So, first off, it's a matter of performing the operations involving brackets and then confirming that our answer is correct by substituting in the formula. So guys, there's a lot to work on today. It's both confirming our answer is correct and then working out via substitution. Let's try another example here. This one is a little bit more tricky. So we've got 7x equals 5 brackets 2x minus 1. Once you get these basic skills, guys, it's really easy to just smash out these equations. So, first thing we need to do is we need to perform the operations involving brackets. So that's this one's here that we have on this side. So it simply becomes a matter of 7x equals 5 multiplied by 2x. 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. Then we add the x on the end. Now, it's really particular that you pay attention to this, guys. Positive 5 multiplied by negative 1 is actually negative 5. We went through this last lesson. A negative plus a negative, a negative multiplied by a negative is a positive. A positive multiplied by a negative is a negative. So if the value signs are different, so if you have a positive and a negative, the answer is always going to be in a negative. However, if you have two negatives, it becomes a positive. We wrote this down on the board last week, and most of you should have written this in your rule book. So our answer becomes 7x equals 10x minus 5. Now, it's simply a matter of getting the x's on one side of the equation. So last lesson we were looking at equations involving two pronumerals. Now we're looking at exactly the same thing. So we're looking at getting the x's on the same side of the equation. So because we have only 7x on one side and 10x on the other side, we have to bring the 10 back over. So we simply go 10x and we bring it over to this side. So our equation here will look something a little bit like this. 7x minus 10x, because we do the inverse, it's a positive number on this side. If we flip it over to the other side, we do the inverse or the negative. So 10x minus 10x minus 5. So these two cancel themselves out. 10x minus 10x, that's no longer on this side of the equation. We can cancel that out. 7x minus 10x, if we look on the number plane, if we're on positive 7 and we minus 10, we're on negative 3x equals negative 5. Oh, so we have a bit of a funny looking equation. Negative 3x equals negative 5. So if negative 3x equals negative 5, we need to work out what x is by itself. So to work out x, it's multiplication here. So it's simply a matter of dividing it on the other side. So x equals negative 5 on negative 3. Another way of saying negative 5 on negative 3 is cancelling these guys out. So it's actually 5 on 3. And that's what we call an improper fraction, guys, which means the numerator is larger than the denominator and it's actually too heavy. So we can change this improper fraction, you should have done this when you were in year 7, into something that's called a mixed numeral. And so we first off look and see how many times does our denominator go into the numerator. So 3 goes into 5 once, therefore x equals 3 goes into 5 once with a remainder of 2. So our number becomes 1 2/3. Now, if you're struggling with this concept, let me know and we can have a look at fractions again. But our answer becomes 1 2/3. And guys, it's simply a matter of substituting that 1 2/3 back into the equation to see if it actually works. Okay guys, this is probably the hardest example. Now, if you're able to understand this and you're able to grasp what I'm asking you for here, you're going really well. So, first off, our example we have here, it's involving two brackets. So we have 5x minus 1 equals 4x plus 2. Two lots of brackets here, guys, so two things to work out. It looks complicated, but hey, it's not really that hard. It's just a matter of executing these brackets first. So 5 multiplied by x is 5x. 5 multiplied by negative 1, paying attention here to our value signs, we have a positive 5 and a negative 1, so 5 multiplied by negative 1 is negative 5, equals 4 multiplied by x, 4x. Positive 4 multiplied by positive 2, positive 8. And guys, it's just as straightforward as that. So the thing we learnt last lesson with using equations with numerals on both sides is we need to get the x on one side first. So the first way that we attack this is moving this 4x from this side over onto this side. So the first thing that we need to do here, guys, is 4 is a positive number, 4x is a positive over here, so when we inverse it, we flip it over to a negative. So we go minus 4x, because we need to balance the equation. What we do to one side, we need to do to the other. 4x minus 4x plus 8. So we've minus 4x from this side to get rid of it, and we have to do the same thing to the other side. So these two cancel each other out. So we just have 8 on that side. Now 5x minus 4x is 1x. As you'll know, we don't write 1x like this. It simply gets written as x. This is our oranges rule. I don't have one orange, I just have a orange. It's just another way of saying the same thing, but that x represents a 1 value. So x minus 5 equals 8. And now it's simply a matter of executing the rest. So x minus 5 plus 5, let's balance our equation, equals 8 plus 5. So we're trying to get this over onto the other side, so we've done the inverse. We cross negative, these ones two cancel each other out, and we go x equals 13. Now if we want to check if our answer's right, it's simply a matter of substituting this into the actual equation. So if we have a look here, guys, it's going to be a little bit harder. I'm going to see if I can get a bit of room here. 5 multiplied by 13. So 5 multiplied by 13 is 65. 5 multiplied by -1 is still -5. Oh, this is hard, guys. Hopefully you can understand this. So 65 minus 5 is 60. 4 multiplied by 13. If we work that out, that's actually 52. So if we work that out, that's actually 50. Ooh, sorry, guys. If we work that out, that's actually, oops, and I've got a big great line through there because Mr. Corsi just messed up the video tutorial. So 52, and then 4 multiplied by 2 is, positive 4 multiplied by positive 2 is positive 8. So 65 minus 5 is 60. 52 plus 8 is 60. Do our equations balance? They sure do, guys. And that's how you do it. It's really straightforward. Now, it does become a little bit hard when we get multiple brackets, but it's simply a matter of coming to see me if you need any of these concepts reinforced.